This is the city of Coventry, famous for its cathedral, the noble ruins of which stand as a monument to her people's courage in the face of death and destruction from the dark clouds of war. Coventry, beautiful and ancient, but a city with a modern heart. For out of the ashes and devastation of its wartime ruins now rises a modern and attractive centre of which we're justly proud, and which reflects the skill and determination of all her people. This is the new Coventry.
Well, it would have been hardcore, innit? Early jungle, but they were one of the same thing.
The epitome of youth culture in this country.
It was a very unique, defining moment, I think, for that music, not only culturally, musically and racially, but globally.
We're going to be special and different.
Potentially have everyone in the crowd, wearing the flyer.
They were getting to learn to work with each other.
Edgy, sort of really messed up. And so that kind of spoke to us. I was trying to speak to us.
It was great times.
Here you go, boys. Here's your platform.
Jungle was the banner, and all of these things come out of that.
The anticipation turned into almost ego-driven sort of, I can't wait to get there because I'm going to smash this place to pieces.
Lots of entertainment. Hard entertainment all the time, visual.
The production levels were off the scale.
Just talent all the time.
The ideas for the flyers would always come with whatever theme we were using from the BBC props.
Some mad scheme.
Greek.
Some mad scheme around the corner.
Roman.
Change everything.
Jungle.
Be a success.
Horror.
DJ's the main attraction, obviously.
Anticipation, even trepidation before we're about to go on.
It was just it was a full-on jungle fest.
I hope I'm gonna do all right, I hope they're gonna like me, and then you get on and what you've practiced in your bedroom is working.
All the bad boys were out.
Almost like, got away with that.
And it was an iconic night.
And that's when Fever, we upped it.
At that point, there was anything like that going on in the world.
The Americans have got hip-hop.
Graffiti was very much the hip-hop culture, but we were at the very beginning. It was new. It's like, what are we about? And that's what we were about.
We've got jungle.
The first black urban street culture in this country ever that came beyond sound system culture. So, that is a big deal.
Lyrics, the MCs, the big bass lines which were always there, but it was just evolving to something else, which became the jungle sound.
Can't even remember, was it end of 93?
We ended up at the Edge in Coventry.
End of 93 or 94, wasn't it?
Two brilliant parties just before the Christmas 93.
This isn't a DJ going up to a motorway to rave or to play. This is an event taking the whole infrastructure and placing it in a club.
We made them take all of their sound system out that they had in the Edge and put it in their second room.
How big's the Edge? It's about 2,000 capacity.
And we brought in our own CAV sound system for the main thing.
What we spent at and what we earned, it was like madness.
I actually had an exhibition at that event.
On the day, we went round to a local park or something or other, and we stripped a load of trees of all their branches and whatever.
It's all on different levels there, right? So you go, we've got this room for your pets, it's perfect. You can have an exhibition in there.
And then we turned the whole of the Edge into a jungle.
I didn't know what to expect. I was looking at it, I'm going to play at a jungle rave.
It was like the Edge was back to the old Edge again.
This was in the time when you went into the party to get in, you had your mobile phone taken off you, if you had one.
You had thousands inside, thousands of people outside that couldn't get in.
We also understood who it appealed to.
People from the Midlands, people from Manchester, people from London travelled down.
It attracted more black people because of the culture of the music.
And it appealed to your ravers, your normal people, and whatever you want to call them, your workers, your bad people.
You couldn't have had that event in America. You couldn't have had it in Europe.
And we also securitised our events using the proper faces on the streets.
Where else are you going to get that mishmash and that music mishmash apart from UK?
And it meant that the people who came to the events recognised the people on the door and knew that they couldn't do anything untoward inside the event because they would be disrespecting those people on the door, and that just had never run.
And this new jungle sound was born.
It's a very proud moment.
The parties went off. You know, everyone, you know, jumping up and down and this, that and the other.
More urban people being attracted to dance music the way it was at that time.
You'd have people in your yellow jackets, your workman's jackets and your white gloves. The local crews and everybody's in there and everybody knows they've got to behave in there, and it just worked.
As the evening went on, it became quite apparent that more and more people weren't coming into the room to look at the pictures as they were at the beginning of the night, because the party was in full flow.
We were up looking down at the crowd in a DJ booth.
Thousands of people in there.
You know, I remember just being called out at one point to get an artist in and being stuck outside my own party for about 10 minutes and whatever before we were able to get back in.
And so now I'm besieged by people.
And I had a dub that I'd cut at Music House called Agony, and it starts off with a sample about Pussy Clark's Ragga Twins.
So more importantly, the people trying to get in knew that they weren't going to kick off.
I'm starting to worry because I've got a few £1,000s worth of my artwork up on the wall, and we're in Coventry and I don't know any of these people, and I can't just go to the doorman that I know and go, hey, look.
Right, but we had security who knew how to handle it.
And because I was up on the tower and it was metal dub plates then, people started banging the wall.
So we're trying to carry their artwork out above our heads and run the gauntlet and try and let the security let us out because it was all kicking off outside.
It was called licking wood, innit? Everyone used to bang the walls and everything, and whatever they could bang, like when they wanted a rewind or the tune was good.
So the needles jumped and I rewound it, and I was all excited. So I don't know how many times I rewound it, but I remember looking over going, I can't play it. You lot won't let me, because they kept hitting the walls in excitement.
A, it was really sweaty in there, so everything was getting wet. And B, I was just worried that if it all did really kick off, it was all just going to go missing.
And that would just happen over and over and over again. And because that would happen over and over again, I get booked over and over again.
There was no real trouble. It just felt very edgy at the time, funnily enough.
It was just a great night.
It was an interesting evening, to say the least.
Fever, what I had in mind was going back to the old reggae days of sound systems in Jamaica, where you had Kilimanjaro, Prince Jammies, and what they would do, they'd have the music, but they'd feature artists, MCs.
But all I can hear is like, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, what the fuck, rah, 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 rah. Do we need to adjust the sound system? Rah, rah, rah.
Sound systems were building their dubs against each other to promote themselves and the artists.
Jungle in itself, it was more MC-led.
I've gone up to the balcony, I've gone to where we round the back, where you do the sound and whatever.
You know, the ragga MCs, not just ragga MCs, but the MCs.
The MCs became stars.
I used to try and overlap the MCs by about 15 minutes.
Ragga Twins, Navi, 5-0.
And they work together, do a little special together.
I'm just about getting round there to work it out, and then rah, 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 rah. And then my hearing got it.
Then Rocky would come out and then the Ragga Twins would introduce the next DJ.
So that night, Jungle Fever was like a full-blown dancehall.
I'm bringing this to the rave scene.
Jungle sound it covers a wide spectrum, in my eyes.
There's like proper Hackney roadman that I know from the manor, with like white glove ravers, you know, guys with turbans, you know, like every race, colour, nationality, all under one roof.
And I understood what it was, and it was actually the Ragga Twins singing Merry Christmas.
To actually say jungle, you know, and all the connotations and the music genre and this is what we were selling, it was pretty brave to like Jungle Fever. So we're doing it. So to hell with it, let's go with it.
And that venue was perfect for it, because you had the 2 balconies, yeah, you had the floor downstairs.
We'd have 8, 10 MCs, and like at the end of the night, all them MCs were on together.
So to come down to Coventry with it, it was just like crazy.
A DJ would come hour and a half before, maybe 2 hours before his set, have a rave, have a party.
You'd play and you'd stay.
I'm not going to have a booking, I'm staying here, man.
All your pals are there.
Because they was enjoying themselves so much.
And you're there having a good little laugh with each other.
They'd all go up there and they'd be partying, and that vibes would go straight through the crowd. Everyone loved it.
And we only ever get that now when we play at festivals.
And it was always like, when they come Fever, they played their heart out.
Jungle Fever night was an eye-opener because it attracted a different clientele, different types of people.
Them dancers at the edge were unbelievable.
You know, that were into that particular sound.
There weren't really no going off at it. It was just excitement of trying to get in. It weren't no real badness.
Our security were there and everything, so it was the safest place in town to be there.
And as you know, the edge, the dance floor used to bounce, so you'd be underneath and you could see the roof moving.
The sounds, the bass, you know, just shook the building.
Then we saw a crack just literally appear in the plasterboard in the room that we were sitting in. Like we're going, yeah, okay, yeah, I think we've got the sound right here, yeah.
That was their sound, and it was unique.
That second event was just completely crazy, you know, like, because by then the whole jungle feeling exploded.
For me, it was really good because it's another genre of music. It was another style of flyer, but it was still a Pez flyer.
Hype was one of the first ones to get Dubplate about Fever done.
I had stuff that was sitting on for a year, so for me, I was really looking forward to playing it at this event.
There's like maybe 9 or 10 DJs that are the upper echelon.
Listen, I didn't need to worry about if Frost is going to mess up, or Ryder, or Rocky, or Ron, whoever it was, Hype, or, you know, all these guys, they're faultless.
Like literally being up there on stage, watching him work those decks is something to see and hear, because it's art.
Phil was doing Cool, and that was being recorded by people all over the country, and they were trading tapes.
The response from the crowd, as an artist, to see that connection, it's just to witness the two things going on.
You know particular records you've got in your box that you can't wait to play and to see the response.
Look what I'm doing, listen to what I'm doing. You know, very, very special.
And they used to come, they used to have to represent, because they said, well, you know what, I can't flop here, man. We're playing at Fever, and I'm on after Frost, and I know what Frost has got.
These acetates that we got cut, yeah, we played dubplates, like my whole set was full of dubplates.
The top music from the top producers, you're able to cut them, you're able to play them, you play, and that cycle goes round and around.
And we knew what we were doing.
Their standard was 150%.
The word was getting out.
A, to do it in Coventry, B, to do it at a Jungle Fever event. It wasn't like a fluffy house event, you know. But we were breaking down barriers. It's just like we wanted to do something different.
The funny thing at Coventry, another little circle, I never forget, we had the shop opposite used to do the tickets. I think we used to sell the advance tickets there. I don't think you could sell them on the door. You had to do it in the shop opposite or something. Some little scam to get you through, all legal.
Everywhere you went around, it's being promoted, we're going up the motorway. So that energy, it forms and it builds.
And there was like me, Ron, Daddy Earl, I think DJ Trace, my friend Terry.
And I remember being in there and this little guy coming up and goes, I'm on the list. I said, what's your name? He goes, Ronnie. I looked like, I said, you're not on the list, mate.
But my friend Terry was looking at me like all weird, and I'm thinking, what?
And it was a fantastic event. You know, like the excitement carried all the way through to people not being able to get in, the arguments on the door.
It wasn't oversold, it was just attracted more people who thought they might be able to pay on the door.
He looked at me and he said, look at the crowd. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, listen to the music.
He goes, I'm on there, Ronnie Sires. I said, you're not on the list.
And he goes, he's waited all his life for something like this to happen.
And the momentum of that, it carries everybody, and it carries everybody into that club on the night.
I said, who's Ronnie? What do you mean Ronnie Sires? Who are you?
And when he said that, it hit me straight away, and I felt special for it, as being part of it, and I still do.
We've come a long, long way
for me, that was like the thing that really drove me.
It's pulled in different classes over the years, genders or whatever, and like races.
You know, like every race, colour, nationality, all under one roof.
To me, it's a very positive thing. Music is always positive.
It was the camaraderie of like all of my peers being in the same place at the same time. And that, to this day, is the best thing for me, is the most exciting thing for me.
Mate, you need to put 50p in the meter, the light's just gone off.
What light? Just light, yeah?
He just literally done it that second.
The house lights have just gone off.
We played dub plates, like my whole set was full of dub plates. You know what I mean? There were no CDs, there were no CDJs, there were no memory sticks, it was dub plate culture.
But we survived to tell the tale. It's a story, I guess.
It was impossible for you to know they were villains in the rave, because they were the most gentle people.
Like, I'm proud of it. But at the time I was doing it, I never thought back then that in 20 years' time or 30 years' time, people are going to look on it as a classic or some kind of art.
Up north, like Wolverhampton, like in, what was it, Amazon and all them places, like mad places. You know what I mean? Mad Cowboy City, yeah?